Texas Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw is taking heat for sending unsolicited mail-in ballots to voters in his district. Democrats are calling the Texas election integrity law hypocritical because it prevents county election leaders from doing the exactly same thing. Here to talk about this is former Texas GOP Chairman James Dickey and Ed Espinoza, president at Progress Texas. James, how can the Texas GOP claim that this is not hypocritical?
Well, so for one thing, I need to correct one thing you said. He is not mailing mail-in ballot applications. He is mailing the form for them to request a mail-in ballot authorization. A lot of folks during COVID wanted to mail out valid ballots or mail out pre-filled applications or mail out applications to everyone. He is mailing out to selected voters or potential voters in the area an application if they qualify. And the limits on qualification are very reasonable. You have to be 65 or over or have a reason that you need to not vote.
Okay. Ed Espinoza, do you think this is a case of hypocrisy?
It's definitely a case of do as I say and not as I do. And the Texas Tribune story that detailed what was happening said that Congressman Dan Crenshaw was sending vote-by-mail applications to voters, which, by the way, should not be illegal. Everybody should have access to vote by mail. Texas is one of only 8 states that has highly restrictive vote-by-mail laws that restrict voting by age and make it really hard for anybody else who don't follow those age requirements to vote by mail. So I'm glad that Dan Crenshaw agrees that people should have access to vote by mail, but the spirit of the law passed by the legislature are to prevent this type of thing.
James, Dallas State Rep Jessica Gonzalez called out Crenshaw specifically since Crenshaw supported Trump's claims that mail-in ballots are corrupt. Do you not see the mixed messages here?
Well, when you frame it the way she did, absolutely, that is a mixed message. That's like saying driving all cars is bad when what you mean is driving a car into a 10-car pileup, causing an accident. That's bad. There's a pretty giant difference between automatically mailing valid ballots that could be turned in by anyone to every thought voter, not even known voter, because you haven't double checked the address. There's a big difference between doing that and mailing an application to see if you qualify, which is what we have here. There's a big difference. And the reality is he's showing that anyone could be doing this at any time. We're just not going to spend taxpayer dollars on choosing who gets these and not.
You know, Ed, talking about the politics of this, both for Dan Crenshaw and the legitimacy of this new Texas law, what do you think happens, if anything, with this episode?
First of all, nobody's sending unsolicited ballots to voters. It was always an absentee voter application, which is what Dan Crenshaw had sent. And in his own words, he said voting by mail was playing with fire. I'm glad to see he's come around on that and that he doesn't think that anymore, because it's not. Everybody should be able to vote by mail. But look, voting by mail is safe. It is secure. Everybody should have access to it. But the new law is problematic because in order to get a ballot through one of these applications, you have to list either your last 4 of your social security number or your driver's license number. And if you don't remember which number you use to register to vote and the number you submit on your absentee ballot application doesn't match, then suddenly your application is disqualified. And election officials may not be able to tell you because of the way the new law is written. That's how much of a mess we're in now because of this new law, and it really shouldn't be this way.
Okay, well, you know, so far it is what it is. We got to wrap it up. James, Ed, thank you both very much.